gave me the blueprint to be a good employee. Like,
Mm.
when you were previously in the military, things can be life and death.
Right.
Your behavior can have severe impact on not only you, people in your unit, but potentially even globally, right? Like the way you
Mm-hmm.
behave, the way things happen, right? So lots counting on you. When you take that work ethic and you come back to the civilian world and you keep that work ethic, I do see, unfortunately, sometimes people leaving the military and coming back and falling into their old self. If you can avoid that,
Right.
and keep that edge, that
Mm-hmm.
work ethic, showing up on time, being reliable, maybe maybe the country isn't depending on you, but your company is. And the
Yeah.
people that work for your company and the company's children
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of people still relying on you to be that guy. So don't lose
You,
that.
right. You just brought up a handful of amazing points, amazing advice, right? To take away with, to take from. It starts with that concept of shifting the recognition of military versus civilian / professional, where you had this responsibility that had severe consequences to them in the military, right? So now it's understanding the kind of like delta, right? The expectation difference when you shift. And now what can you still take away? What can you still leverage from that military experience, but transition the relevance, right? The relevant, I don't know, percentage, right? The relevant
Yeah.
degree into your personal and professional life. And that allows you to then go ahead and have all of these amazing tools to work with, to work from in your career. So that's a great,
And I
great
think
point that you
realizing
made.
that people are still depending on you, like
Right.
just because you're
Mm-hmm.
a civilian doesn't mean that you don't keep that edge. There's still a lot of people depending on you. Your company is, your family is, your company's families, what
Mm-hmm.
you do affects a lot of people around you. So being that structured, disciplined, show up every day, even if you don't feel like it, be on time,
Mm-hmm.
know your weapons well, kind of a thing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and all of that is going to make you a rock star in the civilian world because so many people lack that.
Mm-hmm. Very well said, man. Very well said. Yeah. It's people are still going to be depending on you, companies and all of the domino effect, all the externalities around that. They are all still depending on you. And the more
Yeah,
you give, right, the more take on, the more they will depend on you, right? So it's almost you have more control in the game of this, in the element of this. So long as you actually leverage, right, your experience, leverage your
yeah,
training and learnings.
yeah. Military people should just be rock stars in the work world.
Yeah.
If you continue to take
Mm-hmm.
that discipline and that understanding of the need of people around you, you
Yeah.
should be a rock star in any company you go to work for.
Awesome. Yeah. Well said, man. That's a great, great point. Great highlight. All right. So where we're at now, zooming forward a little bit, because you,
Mhm.
you gave us that context of, right, you got back, you started to join your mom's company and you're taking over the marketing efforts for, I think you said engineering firms mainly.
Say that again, Adam. It broke up just a little bit.
Sorry. Yeah. So I'm saying we're fast forwarding back to where you ended before we reverse course, right? Where you shifted from the music and band scene, and now you're working with your mom, helping her on the marketing side of things for
Mhm.
the engineering vertical in that company.
Mhm. Yeah, and I did that for, like I said, almost 10 years. And then
Mm.
I had such a passion for wanting to do the marketing, and it was very limited on what I could do at her company. So I asked her if it would
Mm-hmm.
be okay if I opened up a marketing agency in the back of her offices. So she had a huge office complex, and there was probably two or three empty offices that weren't being utilized. And I said, as long as I don't compete against you, can I niche out in this space and build out an agency. I just really want to be creative. I really want to
Mm.
utilize my skills in that arena. And she was like, absolutely. So that started me down the path of being my own entrepreneur. I
Mm-hmm.
was young. I had never run a business, didn't know, anything about that per se. I'd been in the family business, but I didn't know how to do it myself. So I learned a lot about
Mm-hmm.
that. But I ended up growing about a $3 million marketing agency. And this was all prior to social media for the most part. I think MySpace was out and stuff like that, but nothing like we see today. So things were still pretty much ad agency model, print ads, you know, the web was coming out and growing and all of that. So we did a lot of web development, got on the early days of SEO, print layout, ad layout, and all that. Grew that to about $3 million agency.